Hey, girlfriend, are you ready for a new ism based on love and friendship? Welcome to Girlfriendism.
Hello, girlfriends. It is your girlfriend, Dr. K, your CEO and founder of Girlfriendism International LLC. And I am so grateful for those of you who have subscribed to this page. And if you are just discovering this page, welcome to All Things Girlfriendism, which is all things inclusion, acceptance, love, and friendship. We created this YouTube channel particularly to highlight the beautiful work that is occurring with girlfriendism locally in the US Virgin Islands and abroad, from Greece to Bali, Thailand, and coming in 2025, Egypt. So today's video is going to be about the do's and don'ts of being a girlfriend. So you hear this name called girlfriendism, and people say, well, what is girlfriendism? So if you saw our first video, girlfriendism is the new ism on the block. Even though we have been in business for over a decade, we are now taking our work to another level. I think if nothing else, 2024 taught us that if we are to survive as a people, but particularly as women, we must learn the art of collaboration. We must value the gift of friendship because it's necessary not only for our own productivity as entrepreneurs and as creatives, as family members, as advocates, but for our own holistic wellness. Okay, so that is our focus this year, radical self-care, honey. Okay, and friendships are a core part of that. So let's get to the results of our poll, and then let's get to the nitty-gritty of how to be a girlfriend. So let's take a look at the outcomes. So I am, first of all, really proud of my girlfriends because some of the ones that I thought they may have chosen, they went the higher road. So these were the options, my loves, as we prepared for this first video. It was don't take her partner, do find your own. We had 11% voted for this option. The second was don't gossip about her, do talk to her. That was 22% of the votes. And then don't compete or be jealous. Do compliment and be yourself. Kudos to my girlfriend. 67% chose this. And then the last option was don't cut her off, do build her up. Now, I see that we have 0% there, which tells me that we've got some work to do. And I'm looking forward to diving into each of these throughout the course of our YouTube channel series. And so I want us to get to the don't compete or be jealous. So most of the girlfriends selected this option. And so this prompted me to do a little bit of ChatGPT research. God, isn't it wonderful? I remember the days, honey, of having to go to the library and look up your library card and the days of going into Google and searching through peer-reviewed articles. Now we get to just ask ChatGPT. Say what? Still fact check though. That I will tell you. Your Dr. K will tell you. Don't believe everything ChatGPT says. Okay, so definitely do your fact checking. But here are some interesting thoughts on insecurity or jealousy amongst women. So when I saw that 67% of our girlfriends said, don't compete or be jealous, I was a proud mama because that is one of our fundamental messages in girlfriendism. Don't compete, just be yourself. Competition and comparison are thefts of joy, not only in friendships, but in our own personal lives. And so we're going to get to that in a bit. But here's what ChatGPT said, and it had quite an interesting response. So this is what I asked. I said, what are the statistics on women feeling insecure or jealous about other women? And how has societal norms or stereotypes contributed to failed friendships amongst women? And I asked the second part because remember, girlfriendism is a movement about building friendships near your geographic region and beyond, global relationships, connecting women around the world. And so it was particularly important to me that we defy these stereotypes about women not being able to get along, being catty, being itchy. We want to defy those isms because we know that not all women are like this. And even for the ones that we may encounter that it feels that way, as a woman, we can pause and ask the question, what could be going on with this girlfriend that is causing her behavior to not feed into her greater self? Or what is it within me that might be triggering, or I may be triggered by something by a girlfriend? What is it in me that I am also uncovering that makes me be the one who is triggered by this girlfriend? So there's so much depth, and this is where our mental health component, our wellness component comes in to really understanding human behavior and how it impacts relationships with women. Okay, I'm off my soapbox. Let me get to ChatGPT. So ChatGPT recognizes that the feelings of insecurity or jealousy among women, especially when compared, which is why this is one of the key do not compare, right? It's complex and influenced by a variety of societal, cultural, and psychological factors. And so, with our girlfriend as a wellness coaching, the psychological piece is what we really want to dive into because we cannot control how other people respond, but we can control how we respond and how we choose to see the world. Right? So ChatGPT said that while statistics on specific prevalence of these emotions can vary, right, based on these different factors, there are several key points. So here they are. Social comparison and insecurity. So a 2018 survey by Dove found that 85% of women worldwide experience some form of body dissatisfaction, and many compare themselves to others to assess their attractiveness, which can fuel feelings of jealousy or inadequacy. So let's take a timeout right here. So again, the key here is do not compare. If you want to be a good girlfriend, you have to be a girlfriend to yourself first. And the reality is, if you are not being yourself, if you are using others as a pillar to judging yourself as a person, as an entrepreneur, or just your success in life, your beauty, you're never going to be happy. You have to understand, accept, and embrace the fact that you were uniquely and beautifully, perfectly, and perfectly made, okay, by a higher being and brought onto this earth for a very specific purpose, which does not belong to anyone else but you. So wherever you are in this space, whomever you're sitting with, whomever you're looking at, right? Or whoever you're not looking at, I'm not sure what I was trying to say, but just follow me, okay? Do not compare yourself. If you're sitting next to somebody, turn to them like we in church, honey, and say, do not compare yourself. That is the key because you have to love yourself as you are and where you are. Does that mean that there isn't always room to improve? Absolutely not. But acceptance of others first comes from acceptance of self. So do not compare. Be yourself. When you practice the art of being yourself, being true to your authentic being, who you are, how you see the world, how you show up in spaces, it is easier for you to create a space for other women to do the same. So instead of women coming into a room and you're feeling insecure because you're not secure in who you are, right? You'll be able to actually embrace that girlfriend is unique. She is different. That means I'm unique and I'm different because if I were not, I wouldn't be able to see it. Now, if I'm not comfortable in my skin and I see that girlfriend that's a little bit unique or different, I may be thinking to myself, well, who she thinks she is, right? Who cares who she thinks she is? Who do you think you are? So that is the key. Do not compare. So this survey showed that 85% of women worldwide experience also some form of body dissatisfaction. So that is one of the ways in which women are compared. It's by our physical attributes. Part of being yourself, accepting yourself, loving yourself is knowing that every aspect of your physical being is a vessel for your soul to fulfill its purpose in this life. So you were created to look the way you look for a specific reason. The way in which you're able to communicate, you're able to live out your purpose is in part due to your own physical appearance. So if you're over here trying to look like Jenny on the block, then you're not going to be able to fulfill your purpose. Part of the reason that I look the way that I look, God created me this way, to be able to portray this message of girlfriendism, right? So my appearance, yes, well, sometimes or very often in society, we look at our appearance from the perspective of being vain or competitive, who could take the best selfie. On a spiritual note, our bodies are vessels for us to carry through our purpose. And so we are perfectly imperfect, yes, but we are made just the way that we're supposed to be. Not only do we want to be ourselves and not compare ourselves to other people for our own wellness, but we don't want to compare or be like other people because we have a divine purpose and our physical and spiritual composition are perfectly aligned for that purpose. So that is why taking time to be still, taking time to assess yourself, your life, your talents, your strengths, and to explore that further as to why am I here? Why was I created this way? When you are so consumed about answering that divine life question, you don't have time to compare yourself with other women, much less to have issues with other women, okay? Now, let's be real. Human nature, you're going to look at someone and you may admire them to an extent, and then you may also think, well, how did they get there? What did they do to get that? The key is use that as a source of information and a source of connection. If you're curious about it, that means there's something within you that may desire to have something that they have, not necessarily what they have, but something like what they have. Use that as an opportunity for connection. Hey, girlfriend, I notice you have a 7-figure business. I'm trying to get there. How can we connect so that I can grow? As opposed to talking about her or hating on her. Right? So use those differences. Use your points of curiosity, not for jealousy, but for connecting. And then you'll be surprised to find out that sometimes the very woman that you admire, that you adore, or you may be secretly jealous because you don't feel like you have those attributes. Let me first say, yes, you do. Because you would not be able to recognize a woman who's beautiful, who's successful, who's badass, if you are not beautiful, if you are not successful, and if you are not badass. So compliment yourself, tap yourself on the back for being able to recognize those strengths in another woman instead of being jealous about her. And then second, you may approach a girlfriend because you admire her and you want to learn some things from her. And then you turn out to find out there's some things that you can actually share with her too. Okay, so there's more that we have that are alike, but if you never get to know a woman, if you never get to understand her, how could you ever judge her, right? And so I'm so proud of the girlfriends who said to just be yourself. There's so much liberation and freedom that comes from that, because not only will you find yourself doing less of the comparison, which is that theft of joy, but you will find yourself attracting people who are like-minded, who are meant to be your tribe. Because guess what? Your tribe of girlfriends, if you're quirky, they're going to appreciate that quirkiness. If you're super structured, they're going to appreciate that super structuredness, right? So just be yourself, and that is how you're going to attract that tribe. But remember, in being yourself, we also want to create room for others to be themselves too. And even if it's not something that we may align with, it is okay. And so one of the visions that I have for girlfriendism is simply for women to give each other grace. Get to actually know another woman. That doesn't mean you have to be their bestie. It doesn't mean you have to break bread with them. It just means that, listen, at the basis, we're women alike and we're living in this society alike. That already means that we have so much more in common than we do different. And you'll be surprised at what you learn. So let's continue with the steps, right? So we spoke about that. Definitely no comparing. Just be yourself and create environments, an attitude, approach, a language, a smile, something that allows others to be themselves too. So another survey found the Journal of Social and Clinical Psychology found that women often report more social comparison tendencies and higher levels of, here we go again, body-related shame compared to men, especially in environments where appearance is heavily emphasized, i.e., social media. So this is what I'll say. One of the ways that Girlfriendism we are trying to address this is with our wellness coaching program that we are launching this year. And I'm really grateful for it because I think over the decade of Girlfriendism, we have been really good at bringing women together through our Girlfriendism travel programs. We've done Greece, we've done Bali, St. Croix, St. Thomas, Egypt is coming up. We've expanded to G Love to look at girlfriends who are single but want to be in relationship. How can I be a badass over here and still be an amazing wife over here, right? Or for those who are already coupled, how can I be an amazing wife over here, but still keep my friendship of and circle of girlfriends and my identity as a woman over here? How can we do both? We've done a really good job of that. This year, though, we really want to push radical self-care because we recognize that so many of the stereotypes may come from some truth, but what it really comes down to is your wellness. Are you well? Because if you're well, the way that you're going to see the world and interpret the world, including your interactions with other women, plays a major part. So positive psychology is going to be one of the pillars in our coaching program. The way that we look at other women, certainly not comparing ourselves to them, being ourselves and celebrating who we are so we can celebrate them. But we're also incorporating that movement. You know, the reality is in this society that we're in today, independent women, fiercely independent women, entrepreneurs, single moms, all of the above, caretakers, advocates, we have to tap into our masculine so much that we forget how to be feminine. And feminine does not mean soft. That is what I think so many women mistake for femininity. They think it's softness. Sorry. Femininity is actually a different kind of strength. It is not the strength that we typically look at where it's muscle strength, but it's a wisdom strength, it's a heart strength, it's a mind strength, which is why it comes down to the wellness. But guess what? The movement helps to open up those chakras. It helps to loosen up those tight areas that we tend to experience in our day-to-day lives as we're trying to keep things in order. There's something about movement and dance. And mind you, some people get so caught up on, I'm not a dancer. Well, child, if you can move, then you can dance, okay? What does your own rhythm say? What is your own body saying? We're so out of touch with that, right? Sometimes comparing ourselves to other people and having that set as a standard for success that we don't even know how we feel. We have to go back to the basics. And that's why our wellness coaching program is going to allow opportunities for me to work alongside girlfriends on their wellness journey, one-on-one and collectively, not just with the psychological piece, but also that movement, femininity, that sensuality in our bodies, so we can attract relationships that feel good and not just look good. Because there can be that cognitive dissonance. Again, when we're comparing, we're looking outwardly at things that we think define success instead of feeling and looking inwardly to say, how do I feel? And that is so key. So if you have not subscribed already to girlfriendism.com, please do check out our website and get signed up because we have free consultation sessions for the month of January so we can explore your wellness goals. But as I wrap up this first video, you know, I get excited about this stuff. It's hard for me to stay on track because I just get excited. Okay, so forgive me. All right. So I'm going to read one more and then we're going to wrap this up, this first video. And then I'm going to be so much looking forward to what our next video is going to be about, which will drop you hints once you're subscribed, right? So the Psychology of Women Quarterly says that women show jealousy or showing jealousy is a common experience in friendships between women, often stemming from perceived threats to self-worth, right? Perceived threats to self-worth. So let me just pause there. Y'all, I have allergies. Let me just pause there. If you are in a situation with another woman where you are feeling some type of way, okay? Now, the nice girlfriend, Dr. K, is going to listen to you and help you process that. The one-on-one coaching Dr. K is going to say, what shit is going on inside of you that is causing you to be triggered? Because that has nothing to do with her and everything to do with you. So mind you, there are two different versions of me when I am working one-on-one with with clients and with girlfriends. I am going to give you the girlfriend, the very gentle confrontation, but I'm also going to give you the mirror of you're being triggered by something that is unresolved within you. And that woman has nothing to do with it. So, what are you going to do about it? And while that can be very frightening for people because it is so much easier for us to look outward and say, well, I don't like this person because of this, or this person did that to me. It's so much easier to do that than to say, why did that trigger me? What's happening? We want to always have a clap back. So we never stop to just pause, shut our mouths, and assess again what we're feeling. And that's what sensuality is also, is being in tune with how do we feel? What is happening? What unhealed wounds are causing me to respond or even see or perceive this girlfriend as a threat? A girlfriend who I probably have more in common with than I do not. Okay. So this is part of the work, understanding your self-worth. And you first do that by uncovering, unveiling, exploring what are your strengths? What are your gifts? What's unique to you? What are your interests? And why are you walking on this earth? And the beauty of finding your purpose is, again, when you're so consumed with that, you don't have the space or the mental energy to look for issues with other people because you're so consumed living out your purpose. And that's why I'm here doing this YouTube video, because I really do feel that when it comes to women's empowerment, when it comes to women's liberation, we cannot get to where we need to get to until we start to resolve some of the very basic issues, like just communication, just acknowledging the existence of another woman. We don't need to know her, just basic humanity. We have to work with our core issues first, so then we can create spaces for girlfriends and other women like us to be able to thrive. And that's what girlfriendism is all about. So I'm going to bring this to a close. More to be shared through our weekly YouTube videos. But again, thank you to the girlfriends who completed this survey. I am really excited that most of you said don't compete or be jealous. Now, listen to the others who selected other options. You are not wrong, right? So the other options were, don't gossip. We'll do an entire conversation on that. We're going to have girlfriends on this YouTube channel with us. So the next few, you will see that we're going to be in conversation with girlfriends to gain their perspectives too. If you are interested, please do email us at support@girlfriendism.com because we'd love to hear from you. We want to connect women all around the world. Our audience tends to be entrepreneurs because we connect with our small business owners locally and abroad. And that started out with our Girlfriendism fashion branch. But we have since evolved because yours truly here, Dr. K, in addition to being a boutique owner, have also served in the mental health field, the counseling field, community advocacy field, the nonprofit leadership field. So I bring all of this experience to this beautiful brand and journey called Girlfriendism. So please do email us if you're interested. And know that, listen, if you chose, don't take her partner, go find your own, honey, the Dr. K will say to you, that is absolutely correct too. Your girlfriend, Dr. K, will be like, you right, honey, you better select that because you ain't going to take my man. I'm just going to tell you that. Okay. And I just got married, y'all. So I agree with number one too. Child, leave that girl's man alone. Go get your own. Okay. But even that is another conversation because we're going to talk about these things, right? These are real situations that are happening with women. But it all comes back why I'm excited about this selection, the high selection of be yourself and don't compare, is because I really do feel like it all comes back to that. When you are yourself, you don't feel the need to see someone else in despair. You don't have the need to take anything from anyone. You just create it for yourself. When you are being yourself, you don't have the time or the energy or the desire to gossip about other people because you're fulfilling your purpose. You are focused on elevating in this life, right? When you are being yourself, you don't need to just cut people off. You know why? It takes energy to cut people off. And we're going to have a whole episode about this because I saw that no one selected that. And I think because we're in this cut-off culture, we forget that it takes energy to cut people off. This is what I would challenge people to do. Elevate yourself to such a spiritual, wise level that people drop off. You don't need to put the energy into cutting them off. So all this and more, girlfriends, we're going to talk about. But thank you so much for participating in our poll. I hope that you found this live to be helpful. I think as we go forward in our week and our month in 2025, if we can just remember, do not compete, just be yourself. You will create your own tribe who loves you, values you, and celebrates you for just being you. And in you being you, you'll also be able to celebrate other women and create space for other women to be themselves too. So kudos to you all for doing so well on that poll. We are going to get to those other areas as we go through, but thank you so much for looking. If you like this video, please do subscribe for more. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts. Is there something that I covered that you want me to dive into more? Who would you like to see on our Girlfriendism YouTube channel? What should we be discussing? Please share more in the comments. And of course, we're going to be right back, right here, same place, same time next week. I'm your girlfriend, Dr. K, and CEO and visionary of Girlfriendism International. I love you, girlfriend. Have a good one. Bye.
That's all for now, girlfriends. Let's stay connected and subscribe for more at www.girlfriendism.com. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram.